Everybody, today on Surf Chats with Topanga we have Andy. Hi, Andy.
Hey, everybody.
So Andy's a bodyboarder and a snorkel guy, and he's been bodyboarding for about 31 years at Topanga Beach, and he's been doing going underwater snorkeling and watching over our reef and our sea life here for about 6 years now. So tell me about, why did you decide to become a bodyboarder?
Well, I started when it first came out in '76, before I even learned how to surf. I did that later for a few years. When I got back into going to the beach, I looked at the price of surfboards, I looked at the price of bodyboards. And so I started bodyboarding and started coming out here about '92. And I surf other places, but this is just the best local break for me.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm like old school. I learned it as boogie boarding, but Andy's telling me that now they call it bodyboarding, so I'm going to stumble over it a little bit because that's something new for me to learn today.
Like Kleenex.
Yes, exactly. So also, Andy's been snorkeling here. He watches over our reef and our sea life. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, the whole snorkel boarding thing started in 2017 when things cleared up here. It used to be really bad. It would be flat. I'd be sitting on my board and I could see the bottom. I said, well, it's so flat, let me just get my mask and snorkel on. And if a wave comes through, I'll happen to get it. But everyone should do that because there's so many fish out there. And year round, even more now. And when I started coming out here full time about 2019, I do about 50, 60 dives a year.
Wow.
And there's so many fish out there. When it's clear, I'll always see something new, something I've never seen before.
And you do take pictures, because here's some pictures that he's taken underwater. Everything. He also puts them on his Instagram, Snorkel Boarder. So tell us more about our sea life and our reef.
Well, out here are some big boulders. I think they were part of the foundations to the houses that used to be here. And there's one that's like a giant sofa. The bottom is a cave. And once I know where that is, I'll know where all the other boulders are. And there's little fish out there, little Garibaldi, right here. And I've been seeing the same fish now for 3 years. I went back and looked at my photos and found it was the same fish. And so I'll feed him the sea urchin. There are lots of sea urchins all over. The bottom has changes every year. This year there's lots of kelp. And so we get the kelp fish. This is taken just the other day. Huge forest of this new type of kelp are out there. And then the horn sharks are out there. They come and go. But on a good day, I'll see 20 of them just sitting out there on the bottom. They're very dangerous. Do not step on the bottom now.
Let's look at that horn shark again. Don't step on these. They're very dangerous.
And then you get huge schools of barred surf perch. Lobster, which is not lobster season, so don't get. I personally would never eat a lobster out of here. There's been lots of beach closures this year. There's a lot of bacteria because the creek is still flowing.
Yeah.
But I just really would invite everyone, when it's flat, just come on out, do a little snorkeling, bring your board. It's not for beginners. There's, even when it's flat, there is a big storm surge, and I can get carried 10 feet while I'm trying to take a picture.
Yeah.
But I'll see lots of people are into octopus right now, and there are octopus right out here. This big one I saw just the other day.
Wow.
And for me, it's fun taking pictures, but I also accomplish a lot by getting a lot of trash out of there. Number one thing I find out here is plastic.
Yeah.
Just pieces of plastic. At high tide, there'll be just clouds of it with the kelp on the surface. And then I also find surfboard fins, and I clean them up as best as I can. And then I do eBay auctions, with a portion of the proceeds going to the local Surfrider Foundation chapter.
And the Surfrider Foundation chapter does what? They clean up the beaches, and what else do they do?
They fight to keep this accessible and clean. There are a lot of beaches up, especially in Malibu, we couldn't get to before. And they're in Washington, D.C., and the state capitol fighting for our right just to access the beach.
Wow, cool.
And let people know what's going on. There are a lot of websites you got to check every day because this beach is under an advisory yesterday. They say don't swim within 100 yards of the creek because the bacteria count is a little high.
Oh, wow.
But at the same time, the waves here are so good, no one is going to pay attention to that.
Oh, I know. They're out there anyways. Whether the beach is close or not, they're there anyway surfing.
Right. It's a great wave. I also snorkeled Surf Rider a lot. I don't now because the showers are closed. And if you go out here, you must shower off afterwards. You should get your ears, your face, rinse out your throat, gargle. But I found so many neat things. Found lots of watches. I found an iPhone 14 Pro that was still working underwater.
Wow.
I gave it to the lifeguards. I found some of the gold and the silver, but mainly it's lots of surfboard fins. And probably
the broken
75% of the surfboard fins are not in great condition.
So you give them to me for my project.
Right, or I'll sell a batch on eBay for charity. But I've also found, things you'd never expect to see out here. I found an angel shark once sitting on the bottom.
Wow.
Just small.
Wow.
And I found a giant sea bass.
Wow.
Which is an endangered species. I just managed to take a picture of it. And there's a website I sent it to, and they identified them by looking at the spots on the fish. And they said this is an unknown species, unknown fish.
Wow.
And so it's in
shocking.
It's in their system now. You would never expect in a million years to see that out there. I found these things called siphonophores, which are long strings of things that sting, and they're deep sea creatures that you not expect.
Wow.
And then when I'm done surfing or snorkeling, on the way back, carry my fins, and any plastic I see goes right in the fins. And I dump it out here.
Yeah, well, you dump it in the trash can.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Andy, for watching over our reef and our sea life and being out in the water and everything. It's fun to watch you bodyboarding because you always spin around, which I find really interesting because I don't see that very often. Can you tell us how you spin around on your bodyboard? Do you have a technique?
And that's why I do bodyboarding, because I can never do that surfing. I just make a turn, hold my legs up towards my head, and just continue the turns. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't. It all depends on the wave. Sometimes the wave calls for it, sometimes the wave doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, so awesome. So I want to thank you, Andy, for sharing what you do here at Topanga Beach. You're a very important part of this community. Like I said, you watch over our sea life and our reef out here. You take beautiful underwater pictures of all the sea life and everything. And I want to thank you for doing that and for picking up the fins and donating, a portion of the money to charity, to the Surf Rider Foundation and everything. I really appreciate everything that you do for our beach here and our community here. So thank you. I want to thank you for being on Surf Chats with Topanga Lou.
Thank you.